Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a super energetic deep dive into the hidden nuances of the English language. Mastering vocabulary isn't just about memorizing dictionary definitions, right? It's really about understanding the unspoken social rules behind those words, so we can avoid some pretty embarrassing blunders.
For instance, let me ask you a question. Is it rude to call a man sassy? Think about it for a second. Have you ever accidentally used what you thought was a totally innocent compliment, only to realize it completely ruined a connection? Yeah, it happens. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with English gender nuances. Look at how the word sassy changes between men and women, figure out if it's a compliment or an insult, cover some other risky adjectives, and finally, look at some safe alternative expressions. All right, kicking things off with Section 1. English gender nuances, and the hidden meanings behind them. So here's the thing. Dictionary definitions literally do not tell the whole story. In English, words can completely change their tone, their intent, and even their level of respect, depending entirely on whether they're describing a man or a woman. It's kind of wild, right? And using these gendered words incorrectly, well, it can cause some serious unintended offense, completely breaking a personal or professional connection before it even really starts. Moving right along this section 2, let's look at how our anchor word, sassy, shows exactly how this gender split works in practice. So, what does sassy even mean at its baseline? Generally, it means spirited, bold, and quick-witted. It's got this really fun, energetic vibe. Honestly, we even used it casually for pets, like a cat giving you some serious side-eye attitude, or for kids who are talking back. But here's where it gets tricky when we're talking about adults. For women, being called sassy is often totally positive. It expresses a strong self-identity, independence, and a sense of fun. A lot of women proudly own it today. But for men, calling a masculine identifying man sassy is usually an insult. It implies feminine traits in a way that can be really cutting, unless, of course, the guy specifically self-identifies with that word. If he doesn't, you definitely shouldn't use it.
Next up, Section 3. Compliment or insults. Because context is absolutely everything.
Now, what's really interesting about this line is that the exact same word flips from a compliment to an insult based entirely on your tone. Listen to this. If I'm playful, I might say, yes, he can be super sassy. I love it. That sounds great, right? But what if I shift to a harsh, judgmental tone? You're sassy, aren't you? Do you hear that? It's instantly an insult. The word didn't change at all, but the tone flipped the intent completely upside down. Let's broaden the lens a bit in Section 4 and look at some other adjectives you really need to watch out for.
Because it's not just sassy that carries hidden gender baggage, let's break down a few more examples. First up, sensitive. For women, it's kind of expected, but it can be super dismissive. Imagine being locked out of your house, you're just frustrated, and someone calls you sensitive. It completely invalidates your feelings. But for men, it can either mean a positive, deep thinker, or it can be an insult meaning they're negatively reactive. Then there's soft. This actually used to be a compliment for women, but now it mostly implies weakness or being overly emotional for both genders. And finally, man-child. Notice there's literally no female equivalent here. It is a very trendy pop culture insult specifically meant for an immature adult male. Just imagine a coworker coming up to you and venting like this. Honestly, he's just a bit soft overall. He might just be a complete man-child. Yikes. You can feel the social stakes there, right? It makes the whole situation feel very real and, honestly, extremely uncomfortable. So, how do we handle this? Let's get into Section 5, Safe Alternative Expressions. And this brilliantly illustrates how we can gently push back in those uncomfortable situations and the exact words we should use instead. If you're tempted to use a risky word like sassy, try witty, fun, or energetic. Instead of calling someone sensitive, you could say they are empathetic if it's positive, or defensive or reactive if it's negative. Swap out soft for calm, kind, or thoughtful, and instead of dropping the bomb that is man-child, just stick to the actual behaviors, immature or irresponsible. See, you can be precise without being accidentally insulting. Okay, let's wrap this up with some pro tips for human connection. First rule of thumb, wait to see if someone self-identifies with a word before using it on them. Second, literally never use man-child to someone's face. Just don't do it. And third, if someone is venting inappropriately, gently redirect them by offering a neutral synonym. Like, oh, do you mean he's being defensive? Ultimately, the main goal of language is human connection, not achieving absolute perfection. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are your word choices building connections or accidentally breaking them? Understanding these hidden nuances is absolutely crucial. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope you leave feeling a little more equipped to navigate the crazy world of English adjectives. See you next time.
Got it! What's up? Catch up! Aha!